introduce Ryan Schumacher.
Imagine for a minute everyone in Washington lost in the next election. Would our nation crumble and cease to exist? Not a chance. In fact, we would instantly have new sets of eyes looking over the problems we face today, and along with that, new solutions to those problems. We are in this current predicament because we have the same people playing the same game for the last 30 years. In a perfect world, we would have statesmen serving us in office rather than career opportunists. In a perfect world, we would not have people clinging to careers in Washington longer than I've been alive. The time has come to demand term limits. If you want term limits, let me hear you. There are those who say that term limits are not the answer. I say it is time to put reality before fantasy. Congress only has a 20% approval, but yet 92% of them win re-election. Well, if they only have 20% approval, then it must always be the other guy's congressman we dislike because we always re-elect our own. Our elected officials have made certain that it is not ideas and solutions that win at the ballot box, but rather incumbency. They have done this by conveniently switching parties when they face likely defeat, like Arlen Specter did. Chris Dodd, the countrywide Sweetheart Loan recipient, is barely able to raise money in his home state of Connecticut, but has raised millions upon millions from national donors. And nepotism is used in places like Delaware, where the replacement for Vice President Biden has agreed to serve until his son comes home from Iraq so he can try to win his father's Senate seat. And finally, gerrymandering is used to assure a politician or a party has a greater chance of staying in power. How can you fear the people when you rig the game? You can't. In our current system, elected officials do not fear those who elect them. They don't have to. They've created a system where it is nearly impossible for them to lose. When the Constitution was written, the nation's founding fathers expected that there would be a 50% turnover in the House of Representatives every election cycle. And for well over the first 100 years, that is exactly what happened. But now, only 8% of incumbents currently lose. Is this what we want for our country, or do we feel our founding fathers knew best? I believe in our founding fathers, not the out-of-touch career opportunists we have there today. Neither party has taken the mantle of calling for term limits because neither party puts country first. Each side is made up of members who enjoy the perks of being in office, and they prefer to hold them tight in their greedy hands for as long as possible. Well, we have absolute proof that selfish sense of service has failed. You cannot be more bankrupt than bankrupt. They have failed to lead, they have failed our forefathers, and they have failed our children. We have now come to a time where a limitation must be placed upon Congress so we can get back to doing the people's business. Both parties will fight this. They don't want us Sarah Palin types interfering with what they believe is the very complicated business of governing. They don't want us to believe it is beyond they want us to believe it is beyond the scope of the common citizen. Well, only a fool would think we have a need for 60,000 pages of tax code. Only people who are ignorant here would vote on bills without reading them. We have hundreds of people in attendance here tonight that can do a better job than those in Washington. While we may not know everything, we know right from wrong, good from evil, good policy from bad policy, and liberty from tyranny. Politicians don't win by re-election by saying no very often. Saying yes wins elections, and saying yes involves spending our money. Our amazing deficit shows our politicians say yes about as frequently as the rest of us breathe air. If you take away the addiction of re-election, you free the official to be a leader rather than a politician. A leader can say no. A leader can balance a budget. A leader puts his country before his career. I want a leader who can say no to someone else other than the other party. We must start here tonight by imposing our own term limits. Immediately, we can take it upon ourselves to vote them out and turn them over. When they're up, they're out. And then we can begin by showing up at our state caucuses and championing candidates who run on the promise of serving only terms and then helping to get them elected. Once we fill Washington with leaders who have taken this pledge and have the honor to live up to it, then we can finally amend the Constitution. Only then will our children and grandchildren never have to worry about a politically corrupt cesspool like we have today in Washington. Our forefathers knew that power corrupts, and they created a constitution to put limits on our government. It should be obvious to everyone that returning power to the same people over and over only leads to corruption, self-interest, and bankruptcy. It is time to place limits upon Congress. It is a solution whose time has come. Unite with me in demanding term limits now. Unite with me in convincing others to be a part of this important fight. Unite with me in insisting an end to career politicians. Commit yourself. Commit yourself to serve and then help another serve. Commit yourself to reject this failure in leadership. Commit yourself, and together let's not forget the wisdom of our founding fathers. Together let's bring that type of honorable statesman back to our capitals. Together let's make term limits reality. Stand up, America, and take your country back.